Hello, this is Cindy of Studio Kitsch Design. In this tutorial, we'll create a fall overlay that can be used in all kinds of fun ways. Let's get started. I've already created a 12 by 12 inch document at 300 pixels per inch. Let's change the background to a more fall color. If you would like to use the same colors I'm using, you'll find the free color palette that you'll find on my website. You'll find links in the description below the video. In the Layers panel, tap on the background layer and let's choose the mustardy orange color from the color palette. Next, let's grab the cream color from our color palette, and I'm going to use the Leaf 6 solid brush from my Fall Frenzy brush set. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp that in the center of my canvas. Let's hop back into the Layers panel and swipe left and tap Lock. Then tap the plus to create a new layer. Next, grab black from the color palette, and using the Fabulous brush from my Fabulous Fall brush set, I'll go ahead and stamp that roughly in the center of my leaf. And I'll get the Move tool and move that up a bit. We'll need a new layer for each brush that we stamp, so we can easily move them around as we go. Next, let's grab one of the Fall Word brushes and stamp that below Fabulous, and then use the Move tool to move it towards the right side of the leaf. Create a new layer, and this time let's use the acorn stamp. For the stamp shapes, I'm using a size of about 8 to 13%. Go ahead and stamp that, and then get the Move tool, and then you can move and resize it so that it fits nicely up above the word Fabulous. Now in the Layers panel, slide right on the acorn layer and tap Duplicate. I like to use at least 2 of each stamp to create some repetition in my design. And let's go ahead and move that acorn down and rotate it and fit it under the word Fall. Create a new layer, and let's use Leaf 6 and stamp it right up under Fabulous. And then get the Move tool and move it into position. You might need to rotate it a little bit, reduce the size. Make a duplicate copy in the Layers panel and get the Move tool, rotate and move that over to the right side of your leaf so that it's hanging kind of off of the leaf base. Let's go ahead and create another new layer, and let's choose one of the other leaves and go ahead and stamp that. Then we can move and rotate it and make a duplicate copy and move that somewhere else on our leaf. And there's not really a rhyme or reason to where I'm placing these things. It's just wherever they fit best, or perhaps I like the way they look. I think the best thing is just to have fun with it. And let's just continue creating new layers and adding new stamps, then duplicating the stamp, rotating, and even flipping some of the images so that they're not all going in the same direction. I think it really adds something, kind of a whimsy to our designs when we rotate and flip things around, have them go in wonky directions. And you might notice that I move things around a lot as I'm working. It's a lot like fitting puzzle pieces together. I find that it's a great way for me to just zone out for a while because I don't really have to be thinking about anything. Okay, so one of your stamps might overlap another stamp, and you can leave it like that, or you can just get your eraser and erase the little bit that's overlapping the other stamp. It's really up to you and what kind of a look that you want. If you don't mind things overlapping, then it's not a big deal. Now I'm just using some of the smaller stamps to fill in some of the holes. And for this design, I really wanted to add a few more elements, making sure that they were hanging off the base leaf and actually outside of it, so that I can use this for what I like to call an overlay from multiple projects. Now, once you're happy with how it looks, go ahead and merge all the fall stamps with the exception of the leaf base by pinching the layers together in the Layers panel. Next, let's go ahead and create a new layer in the Layers panel. And let's choose a mono style brush, and I've set my brush size to about 38%, and I'm just going to start adding some dots, and I want to vary the size of the dots, and we're just filling in some of the empty spaces to kind of pull it all together. Makes it look more like it's a pattern. Okay, once you're happy with how that looks, then you can go ahead and open the layers panel and pinch the two layers together, the overlay and the dot layer, to merge them together, or you can tap on the dots layer and choose merge down. Okay, now tap on the overlay layer and choose clipping mask. And how fun is that? But wait, let's use our overlay in a different way. Slide left on the overlay layer and choose duplicate. Now slide right on the leaf base and the original overlay layers and tap group. And now let's turn that group off. And now we're left with our overlay. Let's go ahead and create a new layer and drag that layer beneath the overlay layer. And let's choose the cream color from our color palette, and we're going to use the mono brush again. And this time I'm going to draw a heart shape right under the overlay layer. And then in the layers panel, let's swipe left and make a duplicate copy, and then drag color using color drop to fill in the bottom heart shape. Next, move the overlay above the solid heart layer and add a clipping mask. Now choose the heart outline layer in the layers panel, open the menu and choose alpha lock, then grab black from the color palette, and back in the layers panel tap and choose fill layer. Tap again and choose alpha lock. Now in the layers panel choose the overlay layer and then tap clipping mask to release it. Next, choose the solid heart layer, tap and choose select, then in the floating menu choose invert. And in the layers panel choose the overlay layer, then on your canvas swipe 3 fingers downward to invoke the floating copy paste menu and tap cut. This will delete the areas that are outside of the heart shape. Now in the layers panel, we can turn off the heart base layer. This gives our design a die cut look. Okay, in the layers panel, let's go ahead and swipe right on the 3 heart layers and group those together. And we can go ahead and uncheck that and hide those. And let's try one more way to use this overlay. Let's open our original leaf grouping and then make a duplicate copy of the overlay and then move that to the top of the layers panel. And turn off the original leaf grouping again. Next, create a new layer and then drag it under our overlay. Then you want to get the cream color out of the color palette. And this time I'm going to use the texture grunge brush from my fabulous fall brushes. And making sure I'm on the blank layer beneath my overlay, I'm going to draw out a really rough letter F. F for fall. And we don't want it to be perfect, we want it to look grungy. And I'm going over it several times just so I can get enough opacity. And then next I'm going to draw out the letter A. I bet you guess what I'm spelling. And again, I want the really grungy, irregular edges. And next I'll do the letter L, and I'm connecting them. I want them to be right next to each other. And now I'll go ahead and add the final L, making sure all the edges are nice and grungy. This technique works really great with grungy painterly brushes. And once we're done, we can go ahead and go in the layers panel and clip the overlay to our painted fall letters. I'm going to go ahead and get the move tool and just move my fall letters a little bit until I'm happy with it. You can also move the overlay around on your letters if you would like. Well, I hope you've had fun with this tutorial and I can't wait to see what you come up with. Make sure to tag Studio Kitsch Design on Instagram. Have a great day.